Hello student. Yes. In the last class, we discussed about some of the important concept of the physical properties of the metals and non-metals. Right? We discussed a few properties. Now we are going to discuss some other physical properties of the metals and non-metals. Before that, we will just revise what are the concepts we discussed in the last class, and we will move to the next physical properties. First, if you see that what are the physical properties of the metals and non-metals, the first we are going to discuss about the malleability. What is this malleability? You already know that, right? What is malleability? What is malleability means if we are going to hit any of the substance with the help of the hammer, if that substance becomes the thin sheet, then that substance we call it as an malleable. What we are going to do, if we are going to take any of the substance and we are going to hit that substance with the help of the hammer, if that substance becomes the thin sheet, then that substance we call it as an malleable substance. Take example of the few metals and some of the non-metals. For the metals, I am taking the copper, gold, any of the metals, and one side take the example of the non-metals like carbon, nitrogen, like that. If you are going to take the sum of the non-metals in the one side. First, if that metal is hit by the hammer, it make into the thin sheet. Take the example of copper, iron, like that. If you are going to hit that metal with the hammer, it going to turn into the thin sheet. Therefore, almost all the metals have the characteristics of the malleability. Therefore, we can tell that almost all the metals have the characteristics of the malleability. Here, this side, non-metal side, if we are going to hit that any of the non-metal with the hammer, it breaks. Okay, that characteristics of the non-metal we call as an brittle. Okay, therefore, almost all the metals have the characteristics of the malleability and almost all the non-metals have the characteristics of the brittle. Therefore, metals are malleable. But non-metals are, you can say non-malleable, or you can give the another name, that is brittle. Understood? The first character was physical character. Almost all the metals have the malleable character. But if you see the non-metals have the brittle character. That is non-malleable. Non-metals cannot be make it into the thin sheet. If you are going to hit the non-metal with the hammer, it breaks down. Not it can make into the thin sheet. The second characteristics of the second physical property of the metal and the non-metal is the ductility. What is the second character? The second characteristics of the metals and non-metals are the ductility. What is this ductility? If you see what is ductility means, if same thing, take some of the examples of the metal one side and take some of the example for the non-metal. Okay, if the metals, okay, the substance which are going to make into the thin wires, any of the substances which are going to make into the thin wires, then that type of the substances we call it as an metals. What is the next physical properties of the metal? Any of the substances, if it is make into the thin wire, any of the substances, if it is make into the thin wire, then that type of the substances we call it as an metals. What are non-metals then? Therefore, the non-metals cannot make into the thin wires. The substances which cannot make into the thin wires that come under the non-metals, that is the characteristics of the non-metal. If any of the substance can make into the thin wire, that will give the example for the metals. Example for such type of the metal, if you see that copper, okay, we are going to use that copper wires, right, in the electrical purposes. If you see that copper wires, that wire, okay, that wire we are going to made by the copper. Copper is a metal. If you see the copper and the silver, copper metal and the silver metal, both are the very good conductors of electricity. If you see that copper and the silver is very good conductor of electricity compared with the copper. But we are going to use the silver. Why we are not going to use the silver? Why we are not going to use the silver for the electrical wires? Why we are going to use only for the copper? Why we are not going to use the silver? If you see the cost of the silver, the cost is very much, right? Compared to the copper, copper is little bit down only. But if you see the silver cost is very much. That's why this is the only reason we are not going to use the silver wirings. Okay, for the passage of the current. We are not going to use the silver wiring for the passage of the current. We are using only the copper wires. Understood why we are not going to use the silver? We are going to use only the copper. Good. Therefore, the second characteristics is the ductility. One is the malleability, second one is the ductility. And the third character we are going to discuss about the metals and the non-metals are the, if you see the metals are the good conductor of heat as well as the electricity. What are metals? If you see the third, what is the third characteristics of the metals and non-metals? If you see the third characteristics of the metals and non-metals, metals and non-metals are the very good conductors of the heat and electricity. But if you see the non-metals are the bad conductors of the heat and electricity. To explain this character, that is the good conductors of the heat and electricity, just take the example. How we are going to cook the food? With which substances we are going to use you are using to cook the food? Steel, right? We are going to use the steel. Steel is also a metal. Okay, it is a metal often. It is made by the metal. It is an alloy. Okay, it is an alloy of two metals. What are alloy? The mixing of the two metal to get the new substance, right? That substance we call it as an alloy. By mixing of the metals, you get the alloy, steel. Okay, the steel is used for the cooking, right? Is it the good conductor or bad conductor? If it is bad conductor means the cooking of food is not takes place, right? But we are going to cook the food with the use of the steel. Therefore, we can tell that the metals are the good conductors of the heat. Example for the good conductor of electricity, we already know that. This wirings, all the things is made up of the copper. If the copper wiring is not there means, if the copper is not going to pass the electricity means, no circuit is formed, no electricity bulb is glow, right? Yes. Therefore, we can tell that the metals are the good conductors of the heat and electricity. What is the third point we are going to tell? The third point we are going to discuss about is the metals are the good conductors of heat and electricity. If you see for the non-metals, is that oxygen, nitrogen, carbon are going to conduct the electricity? No. Most of the non-metals are gases. They are not going to conduct the electricity. Therefore, for the metals are almost the good conductors of the heat and electricity, and non-metals are the bad conductors of the heat and electricity. After discussing with the third point, the next fourth point is the luster. Luster is nothing but shiny. If you see, almost all the metals have the shiny nature, right? Take an example of gold, silver, iron, copper. If you take any of the example, almost all the metals have the shiny nature. Okay, almost all the metals having the shiny nature. That's the shiny we called as an luster. Therefore, the metals are called as an luster. If you see the non-metal, carbon, except the diamond, okay, except the diamond, that is the one of the allotropic form of carbon. Okay, except the diamond, almost all the non-metals don't have the lustery character. Diamond have shiny nature, but other than the diamond, it doesn't have any of the non-metals have the shiny character. Understood the fourth one? The fourth characteristic, the fourth physical properties of the metals and non-metals are the luster. What is the fourth character? The fourth characters of the metals and the non-metals are the luster. After that, the next is the strength. What is the next characteristics? The next characteristics of the metals and the non-metals are the strength. If you see the metals, okay, metals have the very good strength, right? It is very hard also, okay? It has a very good strength. That's why the boiling point of the water, the boiling point of the metal is always more. The boiling point of the melting point of the, not boiling point, we are going to discuss about for the solid substances, the melting point. The melting point of the almost all the metals are very high due to its strength. But if you see the non-metals, for the non-metals, it doesn't have more strength. Therefore, its melting point become what? It becomes less. This is the fifth character. And the next, the sixth character is sonorous. What is the meaning of sonorous? If you see that, what is the meaning of sonorous means sound, the substance which makes the sound. That type of the substances we call it as an sonorous. What are sonorous? The substance which are going to make the sound. That type of the substance we call it as an sonorous. What are sonorous? The substance which are going to make the sound. That type we known as that type of the substance we known as the sonorous. Take an example. You just remember your school days. Okay. In your school days, they are going to ring the bell, right? They are going to ring the bell with the use of the two metals, two iron metals. They are going to hit one iron metal with the iron, another one substance. What it produces? It produces the sound, right? Therefore, almost all the metals are going to produce the sound. See in some of the examples that in some of the buildings they are going to tie one bell. Okay, the long bell. Okay, top of the floor. What is it made up of? It is made up of metal only, right? Therefore, almost all the metals produces the sound. Therefore, what comes to the non-metals? Non-metals are not going to produce the sound. This is the sixth characteristics of the metals and non-metals. And the last characteristics of the metals and non-metals, we are going to discuss about the hardness. What is the meaning of hardness? If you see the metals are very hard, right? That's why they are going to make the bridge with the use of the metals. They are going to prepare the heavy bridges. Take simple example. They are going to make the benches. Okay, they are going to use the metals for the constructions of buildings. Okay, due to its hardness and due to its strength, they are going to use for the construction of the large buildings like that. Therefore, what is the seventh characteristics? Almost all the metals are hard. Okay, almost all the metals are hard in nature. These are some of the physical properties of the metals and non-metals. Okay, what are some of the physical properties of the metals and non-metals? For metals, all the metals are malleable. They can make into the thin sheet. But non-metals are brittles. They can break. Second one is ductility. Almost all the metals can make into the thin wires, but not the non-metals. After the next, conductivity. Almost all the metals are the good conductors of the heat and electricity. Non-metals are the bad conductors of the heat and electricity. Luster. Metals are having the shiny nature, but non-metals don't have the shiny nature. And if you see the strength, metals are very good strength, that have the very good strength, but non-metals do not have that good strength. Sonorous. The metal can make the sound, but non-metals are not going to make the sound. And the last one is hardness. Almost all the metals are the very hard substances. Here the non-metals are not very hard. These are some of the physical properties of the metals and non-metals. Okay, you want to study the 7 important physical properties of the metals and non-metals. After discussing with these 7 important physical properties of the metals and non-metals, next we are going to study about the differences between the metals and non-metals. are going to discuss about the differences between the concept of the metals and non-metals. You can give this physical property only the difference. Now only I said, right, the differences between how this happen like that. You can give the differences. Now we are going to see some of the differences between the metals and non-metals. First metal, then non-metal. Understood? If you see the differences, the first important differences for the metals and non-metals are, metals are malleable and ductile. The first differences is metals are malleable and ductile. But if you see the non-metals are not malleable and ductile. They are brittle. Second one, metals are the good conductors of heat and electricity. For the metals, we can give the difference, that is, metals are the good conductors of the heat and electricity. And if you see the non-metals are the bad conductors of the heat and electricity. Next one, metals are luster. They have the shiny nature. But here the non-metals are the not luster. Metals are the strong. They have the high tensile strength. But non-metals are not strong and they have the low tensile strength. Metals are sonorous. Okay, the metals are sonorous. They make the ringing sound. But if you see the non-metals are not sonorous and they do not make the ringing sound. And the last one, the metals are the generally hard, but non-metals are not so hard. These are the some of the physical properties of the metals as well as the non-metals. Okay, after discussing with the some of the physical property, now we are going to discuss about the chemical properties of the metal. In the last class only I said that what is the differences of the physical property and the chemical property. Okay, if you see the physical property, what is physical property means? The property which is of the temporary change. Okay, the property which tells about the temporary change. What is physical property? The property which tells about the temporary changes. Okay, that type of the property we known as the physical property. After discussing with the physical property, the next property we are going to discuss about the chemical property. Okay, if that physical property happens means it is temporarily changed. We can change it. Then you can tell that, ma'am, if you are make down into the thin sheet, again we can make that. Yes. Okay, therefore the physical property is considered as a temporary property. But if you see the chemical property, it is a permanent property. One time, if the two reactants are combined each other, it forms the product, right? If any of the two reactants are combined each other, it forms the product. Therefore, the obtained product again we can't convert into the reactant. But in some of the cases, okay, if you see, but in some of the cases only it can be changed. It can be changed. That type of the reaction we call it as a reversible reaction. What is reversible reaction? The reaction in which if the reactant is obtained as the product, again that product can be converted into the reactant. That type of the reaction we call it as a reversible reaction. Almost all the chemical reactions are the irreversible, but some of the chemical reactions are the reversible reaction. Understood the concept? Okay. Now we are going to start discussing with the some of the chemical properties of the metals as well as the non-metals. Now we are going to discuss about the some of the chemical properties of the metals as well as the non-metals. The first chemical property we are going to discuss about the metals is, the first is reaction with oxygen. The first what we are going to discuss, the first thing we are going to discuss about the reaction with oxygen. If any of the metals, okay, not I am telling only the one or two, any of the metal, if it is reacted with the oxygen, it forms the metal oxide. Metal plus oxygen, it gives metal oxides. Metal plus oxygen gives metal oxides. If the obtained metal hydroxide, if it is dipped in that basic oxide, obtained basic oxide, if it is dipped in the red litmus paper, the red litmus paper turns to the blue. Okay, I already discussed about the litmus paper, right? If the red litmus paper is turns to the blue, it tells that obtained product is the basic solution. That is, the obtained metal oxide or obtained basic oxide is the basic. What is the nature of the obtained metal oxide? The obtained metal oxide is the basic in nature. Example, just I taken the one example. We will discuss some more example. First I take the one. If that magnesium, if it is reacted with the oxygen, it forms the magnesium oxide. Magnesium plus oxygen give rise to magnesium oxide. Okay, the equation is not balanced. Okay, for your level, the equation, if you are not write the balanced equation also, we want to consider that. If we are going to balance that equation, how we are going to balance that equation? Magnesium, one magnesium in the reactant side and one magnesium in the product side. Therefore, magnesium is balanced. If you see the oxygen, 2 oxygen is there, but only the 1 oxygen is there. Therefore, I am going to multiply the 2 here. Therefore, oxygen get balanced. But now the magnesium is not balanced. Therefore, again, we want to multiply 2 here. Now, 2 magnesium, 2 magnesium, 2 oxygen, 2 oxygen. Okay, now the equation is balanced. Magnesium plus oxygen give rise to magnesium oxide. I said that for your level, the balancing of equation is not required. Okay. Okay. After that, the product is obtained. Magnesium oxide is obtained, right? That magnesium oxide, if it is reacted with the water, it forms magnesium hydroxide. What is the name of this compound? I will write here. What is the name of that one? MgO means magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide. What is the full name of the MgO? MgO means magnesium oxide. What is the name of that one? MgOH twice. What is the name of this compound? Means the name of this compound is the magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium OH means representing hydroxy group. That's why the name of the compound is magnesium hydroxide. Understood the two products? The one you obtained as the magnesium oxide and another one you obtained as the magnesium hydroxide. These are the two important products you obtained when the metal is reacted with the oxygen. What you obtained when the metal, if it is reacted with the oxygen, it forms metal oxide. Again, that metal oxide or basic oxide, if it is put into the red litmus paper, it turns the red litmus to blue. It indicates that the obtained basic oxide is an basic in nature. If you see the example, when the magnesium, if it is reacted with the oxygen, first it forms the magnesium oxide. Again, that magnesium oxide, if it is reacted with the water, it forms magnesium hydroxide. These are the some of the physical property, and we discussed the first chemical property, that is the reaction with oxygen. We will see some more example. Okay, now we are going after this. In the next class, we are going to see some other example for the reaction of the metal with the oxygen. Okay, we are going to discuss some more examples. Okay, now after this class, okay, in the next class, we are going to discuss some of the example for the metal reacted with the oxygen to form the metal oxide. I hope you understand every concept. In the next class, we are going to see some of the example for the reaction with the oxygen. Up to that, bye everyone.